Welcome to ABC Interactive English. I'm Matt.
And I'm Nina.
So today we're looking at part 2 of our story, The Foolish Old Man Who Removed the Mountains.
Wow.
Now this is a story about a man who wants to do something that seems impossible. It seems difficult to do, and even his wife doesn't believe he can do it. So Nina, have you ever been in a situation where you were trying to do something but others didn't believe in you?
Yes, actually, in the past, I really wanted to start a YouTube channel and maybe dedicate a lot of time to it and start making money from it. But I was told that it would be really difficult and almost impossible to compete with other YouTubers and actually make money from it. But eventually, I decided to give it a try, and I put the time in and I put the work in, and I actually started making money from YouTube.
Okay, so
Yes.
you believed in yourself.
Yes, I did.
And then because you believed you could do it, you were able to achieve that.
Exactly. So I think that is kind of a good lesson for everybody, right?
Okay, yeah, I think it is a great lesson. And I think it's similar to the lesson that we might be able to learn from this story. So let's get into part 2 and find out.
After some time, a wise old man from the next village came by. He told the old man to give up. He said,
"You're an old fool, and your task isn't possible."
Welcome to part 2 of The Foolish Old Man Who Removed the Mountains. Okay, so let's see if he's actually able to do it. Now he has his sons helping him and
That's right.
grandson, right?
But his wife didn't believe him.
Exactly.
But that didn't stop him. So his sons, and his grandsons were moving rocks from the mountains into the sea. So they had started to remove these mountains.
Yes.
After some time, a wise old man from the next village came by.
Okay.
So it's a wise old man. So he's an old man, but now there's another old man, and this is a wise old man.
Yeah.
So wise means someone that is smart through experience. They've learned things throughout their life which have made them smarter. So even when we have like a smart young person, you usually wouldn't say they're wise because they hadn't gotten smart from learning through experiences that happened in their life.
Yes, that's true.
Often we'd say a wise older person, such as this wise old man. And he is from the next village. So these people live in villages, and a village is a community or a group of people living together in a place that is smaller than a town.
Okay.
So you'd have a city, which is a place with many people and big buildings and people living in apartment buildings. A town, which has people living in some apartment buildings and has all of the things that you would need for your daily life.
Yes.
And then a village where probably most people are living in houses, in individual houses for one family. And maybe there's, 1 or 2 stores within the village to give people what they need.
Yeah, so a pretty small area. So continuing, he told the old man to give up. Okay, so the wise man told the old man to give up. He said, "You're an old fool, and your task isn't possible." So the wise man is telling the old man to give up. He is a fool. He's being silly because it would be impossible for him to flatten the mountains. Okay, so he called him a fool, which is a person who acts in a silly or unwise way. Okay, so people, I'm guessing this wise old man as well as his wife thinks he is a fool because to them, it is an impossible task. For example, he felt like a fool after making the mistake. So I'm curious if this old man will feel like a fool in the end if he realizes he can't actually flatten the mountain.
Right. And this word fool, when we use it as an adjective, it becomes the word foolish, which we can actually see in the title of this story. So I think now we know that this is the foolish old man.
Yes.
So this man is being a fool. He's foolish because who can remove mountains?
Okay. I wonder if he's actually foolish or people just think he is foolish.
Right. Okay, we have another word in there, which is a task. The man said this is an impossible task. So a task is some job or work that is to be done. So you could say, for example, the teacher gave the students many tasks to do. So things like cleaning the classroom or wiping the chalkboard.
Okay, so now we learned a little bit more about what's going on with the old man and how the wise old man from the other village also didn't believe in him. But we will only find out more after this break.
The old man answered,
After I die, my sons and grandsons will continue the work. They will have sons and grandsons and so on. They will grow, but the mountains won't.
Then the old man asked,
Why isn't it possible to flatten them?
The wise old man didn't have an answer and left without a word.
Welcome back. So before the break, we had the old man who was trying to move the mountains. And another old man, a wise old man from the next village, came to talk to him. And he said, this task is not possible and you should give up.
Yes, he thought the other old man was being foolish.
Yes, he
right?
called him a fool.
Exactly. So let's see how the old man responds. The old man answered, After I die, my sons and grandsons will continue the work. Okay, so even if he doesn't finish it before he dies, he knows that his sons will continue, and after that, his grandsons and probably the future generations will continue. They will have sons and grandsons, and so on. They will grow, but the mountains won't. That's true. So you will have future generations continuously help you with the mountains, and the mountains will not only not grow, it will shrink, right? It will get flatter and flatter with time. Okay.
So the old man answered this other man. So he answered him as to give his response, to give the return to a question that was asked. So when you answer someone, you are giving them the response or the thing that they wanted to know from the question. So in this case, he is responding to the wise old man and telling him, why he is not a fool and that in fact his plan can work, it just might take a very long time.
Yeah, so it is not impossible, it seems. It just will take a long time. So his future generations, like his son and grandsons, will continue the work. To continue means to keep doing something without stopping. So when you continue doing it, it will happen eventually. So for example, we will continue the game after lunch.
Okay, and another thing they said in there was and so on. They said, I think, sons and grandsons and so on. So when we use this phrase and so on, we mean you can assume what comes next.
Yeah,
so if it's been my sons and grandsons and their sons and grandsons and so on, it's the part that you don't need to say because it's easy for the person listening or the reader to know what comes next.
Yeah.
So for example, I could say, I'm going to make a fruit salad, so I'm going to buy some apples, bananas, oranges, and so on.
Okay.
That I'm going to buy some other fruit.
Yeah, so people can easily guess. So continuing, then the old man asked, why isn't it possible to flatten them? The wise old man didn't have an answer and left without a word. Okay, so it sounds like the wise old man was left speechless. Because after the old man said what his plan was, he realized that it's probably very possible. It just would take a long time.
Right, so it's probably not possible within one's lifetime.
Yeah.
So that's when the wise old man told him it wasn't possible, he meant he was thinking that, the foolish old man was going to try to do it within his lifetime. But since this foolish old man, or maybe not so foolish old man, has a plan that will go for generations from his sons to his grandsons to his great-grandsons, that it's actually possible because that's, hundreds of years of working at flattening these mountains.
Exactly. So he is not doing it for himself, but he's doing it for the future generations.
That's right. That's another interesting point because, these mountains inconvenience him. They block his way, but he knows that he will not be able to finish this in his own life, so he's not going to solve the problem for himself, but he is doing this work for the rest of his family, for his future generations of his family.
Wow. Sounds like he's a very nice old man.
Okay, well, that's the end of part 2. We're going to find out how the old man and the rest of his family accomplished this goal of removing the mountains when we look at part 3 next time.
All right, see you then.
After some time, a wise old man from the next village came by. He told the old man to give up. He said,
You're an old fool, and your task isn't possible.
The old man answered,
After I die, my sons and grandsons will continue the work. They will have sons and grandsons, and so on. They will grow, but the mountains won't.
Then the old man asked,
Why isn't it possible to flatten them?
The wise old man didn't have an answer and left without a word.
Hello, I'm Tina. 我们来看这一课的重点单字。第一个 village 名词，村庄、村子。The children live in a small village. 这些孩子们住在一个小村庄。下一个单字 fool 名词，傻瓜。Don't be a fool and ignore the advice. 不要当傻瓜，忽视这些建议。下一个单字 answer 动词，回答、答复。Nelson answered all the questions correctly. Nelson 正确地回答了所有问题。最后一个单字 continue 动词，继续、持续。They decided to continue their trip despite the bad weather. 尽管天气不好，他们决定继续旅行。Despite 就是指尽管。接着我们来看重点文法。第一个 combine 经过，顺道拜访。我们来看看这个例句 Feel free to come by anytime. 欢迎随时前来拜访。下一个文法 give up 放弃、停止。Give 的三态是 give, gave, given. 我们来看看这个例句 I decided not to give up. 我决定不放弃。最后一个文法 and so on 等等诸如此类，用于举例的末尾，用来避免逐一的列举所有项目。我们来看看这个例句 We need to buy some food like bread, milk, and so on. 我们需要买一些食物，比如面包、牛奶等等。以上就是这一课的重点单字跟文法，我们下一课再见，拜拜。
Hey, it's Kiwi on the street. I'm Kiki.
And I'm Winnie, and you are giving me nothing right now. We need to do this all over again.
I'm sorry, I've just been having so much homework lately and I haven't been sleeping well. I'm really running on empty.
Oh, okay. Well, don't worry. You can rest after this, after we practice our phrases.
Fine.
Okay, let's work on some phrases. Please choose the correct one.
Chew the head. Chew the fat.
Chew the hat.
Chew the head.
Okay.
Chew the fat.
Chew the fat is the right one.
Okay.
Chew the hat. Chew the head.
Okay, I'll give you one more chance. Do you want to change your answer or keep the answer?
Change.
Change.
Yes.
So chew the...
Chew the fat.
Good thing you listened to me, because it's chew the fat. Okay. The next one is word of mouth or word of street.
So 口碑 or 口耳相
Word of street. Word of street. Golf mouth.
Word of street. Word of street.
I think it's word of street.
Why do you think that?
Everyone on the street knows that, so I think it's word of street.
Word of mouth. Word of mouth.
You're confident, right?
You're confident?
Yes.
Very confident?
Yeah, she said yes.
Well, you know what? Good thing you have confidence. It is word of mouth. Okay, what phrases did we learn today? We heard a lot of new phrases today. Let's learn about them. The first one is chew the fat, which means to have a long, informal conversation with someone. And it's usually during moments of leisure where you can just relax and talk about anything. The origin comes from a history of people from different cultures chewing on animal fat or hide while they're hanging out and chatting with others. And these groups range from Native Americans, British, to sailors out at sea. An example would be, get back to work. You'll have time to chew the fat after you're done your chores. Our next phrase is word of mouth. Word of mouth refers to sharing certain information from one person to another by talking about it. And it's usually when someone shares their experience to someone else. A lot of businesses rely on word of mouth to help grow their business because usually it means people trust the recommendation of the person that's sharing the information with them. An example sentence would be, the cupcake store became popular because of word of mouth. And that's all our phrases today. Kiwi later!